Jason Miller had exactly 3 goals for the evening: cook a romantic dinner, impress his girlfriend Emma, avoid embarrassing himself. By 5:15 p.m., all 3 goals were in serious jeopardy. The problem began when Jason decided that ordering takeout wasn't special enough. Instead, he found an online recipe titled Restaurant Quality Steak Dinner Anyone Can Make. That should have been his first warning. At 5:30, he realized the recipe required ingredients he didn't own. At 5:45, he was sprinting through the grocery store while trying to read the recipe on his phone. At 6, he discovered he had accidentally purchased parsley instead of cilantro. He didn't know the difference. So he bought both. Back home, things got worse. The recipe called for 2 cloves of garlic. Jason interpreted this as 2 entire bulbs. The resulting mixture smelled strong enough to repel vampires from neighboring counties. Still, he pressed on. The first real catastrophe occurred when he attempted to sear the steaks. Television chefs always made it look easy. Jason dropped the steak into the pan. The pan responded by launching a volcanic eruption of grease directly into his face. Ah! He stumbled backward. The steak landed on the floor. His dog, Frank, appeared from nowhere like a furry ninja. 3 seconds later, the steak was gone. "Okay," Jason said. "1 steak left." The second steak survived. Unfortunately, so did the smoke detector. The detector began screaming with the enthusiasm of a fire alarm auditioning for Broadway. Beep! 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 Jason grabbed a kitchen towel and started jumping beneath it like an angry kangaroo. The alarm continued winning the fight. Then came the mashed potatoes. The recipe said, boil until soft. Jason became distracted watching a video on how to impress women through confident eye contact. 40 minutes later, he remembered the potatoes. The pot contained something resembling concrete. Panic set in. Emma was arriving in 30 minutes. Desperate, Jason moved on to dessert. Chocolate lava cake. What could possibly go wrong? Everything. The recipe called for 1 teaspoon of salt. Jason accidentally added 1 tablespoon. The resulting cake tasted like the Atlantic Ocean wearing chocolate as a disguise. By 7, the kitchen looked like a crime scene. Smoke lingered in the air. Potato paste covered the counter. The dog was suspiciously full, and Jason had somehow set 1 oven mitt on fire. The doorbell rang. Emma was early. Of course she was. Jason opened the door, trying to look calm. Behind him, smoke drifted through the house. Emma sniffed. "Are you burning something?" "No." A loud crash came from the kitchen. Then the smoke detector started again. Beep, beep, beep. Emma raised an eyebrow. "Everything okay?" Jason sighed. "No." 10 minutes later, she found him sitting on the kitchen floor, defeated, holding a ruined lava cake. The dog sat beside him looking guilty. "I wanted tonight to be perfect," Jason admitted. Emma looked around. The disaster was impressive. 1 cabinet door hung crooked. The counter looked like it had survived a tornado, and somehow there was mashed potato on the ceiling. Neither of them knew how. Then Emma started laughing, hard, the kind of laugh that makes it difficult to breathe. Soon, Jason was laughing too. "What?" he asked. She pointed toward the dog. Frank had somehow stolen the remaining steak and was attempting to drag it beneath the couch. An hour later, they sat on the living room floor eating pizza. The smoke had mostly cleared. The kitchen remained a disaster, and neither of them cared. Emma leaned against his shoulder. "You know," she said, smiling, "this is actually one of the best dates I've ever had." Jason laughed. "Even though I nearly burned down the apartment?" "Especially because you nearly burned down the apartment." Years later, after they were married, Emma would still tell the story at family gatherings. And every time she reached the part about the dog stealing the steak, Jason would groan while everyone laughed. Because the dinner had been a complete disaster, but somehow, the evening had been perfect anyway. If you enjoyed this story, please subscribe to our channel. Thank you!